Tarantino movies, so I figured I'd just buy this one I release, wait for the others to go on sale. Also, this is the Canadian release, and what's nice about Jackie Brown is there's no that Jackie Brown. No French in the box art here. Again, love the French, but not on the box art. Unless it's a French movie, that's entirely different. This movie came out in 1997, I think. I don't see it on here. That's a little strange. Oh, yeah, 1997. And I remember seeing this in the theater where I was really excited. I saw Pulp Fiction in the theater, this small theater called the Nickelodeon. Really knocked my socks off. So this was a pretty anticipated follow-up. And it did not disappoint. Didn't disappoint me anyways. I feel like I'd say the critics, the consensus with them, this was an excellent follow-up, but from the audience perspective, at least with my friend circle at the time, I wasn't online. A bit muted. But this is my favorite as mentioned, and probably haven't really given this too much thought. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that may be my number two. I'll think about it. This movie stars Pam Grier. She plays the protagonist here, Jackie Brown. Samuel Jackson's in this. Finds himself in a lot of Tarantino movies. Robert Forster, who's amazing in this movie. Bridget Fonda, definitely had a crush on her when this came out. Michael Keaton is really well cast in this as well. His character also shows up in another movie called Out of Sight. I'll get to that later. And Rob De Niro is in this as a inept ex-con, which is pretty amusing to me. If you're not familiar with Jackie Brown, let's go ahead and read the back. I feel like I found a good spot for my camera. It's actually fairly legible for you. Okay, what do we have here? We have this proof of purchase in case you're a maniac and want to take out the art and cut a fucking hole in it. Let's see. A Knockout, Peter Travis, Rolling Stone. 4 stars from Roger Ebert, I agree. One Cool Ride, whatever the hell that means. Austin Chronicle. Quentin Tarantino scores with an explosive mix of intense action and edgy humor. We're already off to a bad start. In his twisty crime yarn, according to Entertainment Weekly, now presented for the first time in 4K. Okay, what do a sexy stewardess, Pam Grier, a street tough gun runner, Samuel L. Jackson, a lonely bail bondsman, Robert Forster, a shifty ex-con, Robert De Niro, an earnest federal agent, Michael Keaton, and a stoned-out beach bunny, Bridget Fonda, have in common? There are 6 players on the trail of $500,000 in cash. The only questions are who's writing these, and who's getting played, and who's gonna make the big score. You know, this kind of sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie to me or something, which is that's because I feel like Guy Ritchie, his style of filmmaking, his success, was really riding the coattails of Tarantino at the time. The movie is a lot more understated than this write-up here, and I think that's, again, I'm just speculating, but perhaps my age group at the time, or just the audience, was may have expecting something perhaps a bit more edgy, like Pulp Fiction. This is an adaptation of who the hell's the author? Elmer Leonard. One of his books. He's had a lot of his works adapted into movies and what have you. So this is an original Quentin Tarantino story, and I'm trying to think with Quentin Tarantino. Reservoir Dogs is kind of an adaptation of A City on Fire, if you've seen that movie, and Hateful Eight, The Thing. But from a novel perspective, I think this is his first and only adaptation. I'm really not too sure about that. I haven't read the book, so I don't know how much this deviates from the actual novel. It certainly feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie, but dialed down slightly, if that makes any sense. The soundtrack especially feels like a Tarantino movie. It's probably my favorite soundtrack of his movies. And I didn't really find this very helpful, so this movie, and we have Pam Grier, and I wasn't really familiar with Pam Grier when I saw this movie, and even if you have only seen her in this movie, her character is just a real powerful performance. She really commands the screen, and she's a stewardess is a flight attendant. I guess it doesn't really make it matter anymore. It doesn't matter in the year 2025, right? The way things are going. She finds herself in a situation where she needs to make a decision about her future, and one of her employers, in this case, would be Samuel Jackson, who he's really menacing in this movie. He can really turn on you pretty quickly. She has to make a choice between her future and his. Seems like a pretty easy choice to make, right? So there's this plan to what does it say in the back here? A trail of $500,000 in cash. So who's gonna get the money? That was a real awful breakdown of Jackie Brown. But anyways, her relationship with Robert Forster's character, he plays a bail bondsman, is one of the reasons why I was able to get this in romantic movie month circulation. I think there's a really nice romance in this between those two characters, and I'm trying to think of other Tarantino movies. For the most part, like, romance isn't something that he dabbles in. I'll probably think of a bunch of examples after this, but right at the moment I really can't think of any. But in this movie, it's a relationship that feels very mature for these characters, where they are in life. Nothing I really spent too much time on reflecting when I first saw this in the theater. I was just a teenager, but revisiting it, it's an understandable relationship. Bridget Fonda was the teenage crush for me. I mean, if you've seen the movie and you're a teenager, I'm sure you'll understand why. And I really like Michael Keaton. I think he's really well cast as a federal agent. He has a lot of manic energy in his performances anyways, and I feel like it translates really well to his character here. But Robert Forster, I haven't seen Robert Forster in many movies. I've seen Alligator, which I'll talk about in just a second. I've seen Medium Cool, which is a really cool movie. But this I think this may have been the first Robert Forster movie I watched where I understood I was watching Robert Forster, if that makes any sense. He's in a lot of, I guess you could say, B movies. And there's a moment in this movie which I find, I don't know if it's like a direct reference to Alligator or not. I have no clue. But he's talking about himself, how he feels about himself, where he is at his current age, and how he addressed his hair. And when he looks in the mirror, he sees himself and he feels good about it. If you've seen Alligator, Alligator's definitely worth watching. Like, it is it's a B movie. It's highly entertaining. A great creature in it, the alligator. And Robert Forster in that movie, for whatever reason, people are really dunking on his hairline. He's losing his hair, but it really has nothing to do with his character. It's just kind of brought up at random, like he goes into a store and the clerk makes a comment about it. It's really funny to me. And then watching this again with his comments about, hey, no, I was a little self-conscious about my hair. He doesn't say the word self-conscious in this movie, but he actually does something about it. I just thought that was really funny. And what the heck was I going to say? I guess it's not that important. But let's take a look at the actual inside here. I don't think there's anything that exciting going on. That was really loud. Jeez. You know, I watch a lot of ASMR videos, and sometimes people open a case, much like I just did, and so loud. Irritates me a little bit, so I'm sorry about that. So we have the two discs here. We have the Blu-ray, and we have the 4K unique artwork on each of these. And it's kind of lame that they don't use the actual theatrical artwork anywhere. I'm pretty sure the Blu-ray release uses the theatrical artwork, though this isn't too bad, I suppose. It has Jackie Brown on the cover, at least. So, if you haven't seen this, it is really entertaining. It is a knockout, and this transfer is excellent. It's the best I've ever seen the movie look. And if you've seen like Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs, those 4K releases, it kind of gives you an idea of how well they did with the transfer here. So that's good to hear, especially after what I've read with Kill Bill, parts 1 and 2, Inglourious Bastards. But again, that's more related to the source. So if you haven't seen this, definitely watch it. If you have seen it but you haven't seen it in a while, the 4K is absolutely worth picking up.